Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I just decided today that to do some natural lighting to see how that looks and bring in some pizzazz into our space. So hi everyone, this is Wayne and Wayne Glass Fitness, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for joining me today. So today I'm thinking of like this can be like a series or something or another, but like a chit chat with Wayne, just to get to know me better as a person and who I am and what I'm about. So I know the last couple of the last couple of videos, we've talked about fitness and we've talked about disordered eating and then like introducing who I am. But today I wanted to spend some time talking about coming out older later on in life, right? So I first came out of the closet when I was in middle school to myself. So I first openly identified as bisexual around 14. So let's talk about coming out stories, right? So I'm sure that those that are in the LGBTQ plus community have their own stories and lived experiences and have gone through lots of different things that kind of speak to them struggling and trials and tribulations and things going on in their life. So I'll spend some time sharing mine today. So thanks for joining and let's get started. I first came out to myself when I was 14, so around 7th or 8th grade, if I remember correctly. My friend Kate, who might watch this video, was the first person that I came out to, and I originally came out as bi because I wanted to not have the negative connotation of like fully committing to being a gay or queer person, queer later on in life and then gay when I was a teenager. So I came out as bisexual, even though I clearly didn't like women beyond like the emotional sense, not necessarily the sexual sense, but I held on to that for a really long time. And then it wasn't until around 17, 18 when I started dating my first boyfriend ever, Jomar, who I'm still friends with to today. That was my first boyfriend, where I really started to kind of hone in on that gay identity. So I was like, I'm gay and I am a man who likes men, and that's where it's gonna be. So held on to that, right? And then I went off to college and I finally came out of the closet to really the world and to everyone, even though folks kind of knew, like my mom knew, my family knew, except for my dad, but we'll talk about that more in just a moment. So I came out when I was my first year of college, so it was August 18th, 2009, my first semester at the University of West Florida. I just decided that it was time and I'm ready to no longer live I would say an inauthentic life. And I came out as gay. And I lived my life, as a gay person, openly gay, wrote about it, talked about it. If you think about Cass's model of coming out, I was stage 5. I was very much rah, 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 like super gay. Everything was queer, rainbow this, rainbow that. I was super excited to be who I was. And a lot of my friends were within the LGBTQ plus community, and it was very much that. Like I very much wanted to let the entire world know that I was gay. And I would say that a lot of folks probably experience that are in the LGBTQ plus community, the sense of pride and love for themselves after living in a world that hates them or thinks that they're gross or disgusting and what have you. But finally to love yourself unapologetically is where I was at, and it's something that I wish for everyone that's a part of the LGBTQ plus community, to love themselves unapologetically. However, and as I alluded to, I had not come out to my dad. That was one thing and one area that I was not ready to do. I was afraid, I was scared, because my dad has been a part of the military for a long time and has grown up to be relatively conservative in his views and thoughts and feelings about things, whether it's a product of life or the military or a combination of the two, those he interacts with, etc. So I was not ready to come out to him, and I didn't. I had many years had gone by. So let's flash forward to 16 years later, right? So 14 to now 30, which is where I'm at. I finally came out to my dad in around July of 2020. So it took me legitimately my entire life to come out to my dad. Now, I had gone through many relationships, ups and downs, thinking about spending my life with this person and then maybe that person and then dating and this, that, and the other. And now like my partner, Ryan, who we're like together, like married together. And that was a scary experience and a scary moment for me to finally decide that I was going to come out to my dad. So very much like me moving to New York City from Minnesota, I sent my dad an email, which is very millennial of me. Now, I came out to my dad moving to New York City via email out of fear of him being disappointed in me, but that's a whole other conversation. So I came out to my dad via email. I sent him a long dissertation, essentially, about this is who I am, this is how I've always been, and this is my partner, Ryan. We live together, and we're in New York City, amongst other reasons. This is why I moved from Minnesota to New York. And I came out to him in the email. And at the end of my email, I included, I would love to have this conversation with you over the phone. And I'm sending this email out of fear of not being able to get my thoughts out. So I needed to get all my thoughts out in an email. I was afraid that I was not going to be able to say everything I wanted to say, and that it was gonna go south, and I was not ready for that. But so fast forward, after I sent the email, probably 10 or 15 minutes later, my dad decided to call me, which I knew he was going to, and we had a conversation, and surprisingly enough, it went really, really well. He was very affirming and supportive and accepted Ryan, accepted myself, and mentioned that it was very much a big elephant in the room, and it's something that we had never really talked about, which we didn't, obviously, because I was terrified of, losing him as a parent, as a support system, as a person that's been in my life. And my dad is my only dad, and also I am his only child, and I was afraid that it was, like I said, gonna go south, and I was gonna lose a really important relationship that I had with this person. But it didn't. It didn't go bad. It didn't go south. I didn't lose him. We still talk all the time, and we still communicate all the time, and we still text and we call often, and it's as if nothing has changed, which is 180% different than what I expected. I was anticipating that we were not going to talk anymore, or that he was going to yell at me or be mad at me, but he wasn't, and he didn't, and he isn't. So I'm super grateful for that. And for those that might be struggling with themselves, their identity, coming out to important people in their life, I would say come out on your own terms, come out when you're ready. Don't let other people, bully or force you out of the figurative closet. Do it when you're feeling that you're able to have those conversations. And for me, again, like I said, it took me 16 years to have this adult conversation with my dad about like being a gay person, being a queer person, and this huge part of my life that's been a secret. And for those who know me, know that I'm very much queer in every aspect of my life, and everything that I do is LGBTQ plus centric, because that's just a huge integral part of like how I am as a person and how I want to show up in society. And I would want that to be the same for those that also share same or similar experiences within the queer, trans, non-binary community, being able to be yourself and love yourself unapologetically. But like I said, do it on your own terms. If it takes you, 10 years, okay, that's great. I wouldn't want anyone to feel like they need to share something that's so, personal to them, and them not be ready to have those conversations. And for me, like, again, everyone else knew except for my dad, and I just wasn't ready for that. And now I am, and I did it, and I finally did it. And no regrets. If I could go back, would I do things differently? I mean, I probably would, but 18, 19, 20 plus year old Wayne wasn't ready. I wasn't ready developmentally. I wasn't ready emotionally. I wasn't ready physically to have those conversations. And, now that I'm 30, I am, and I'm ready, and I feel confident and secure enough to deal with whatever was going to happen, whether it was good or bad. And in this case, fortunately, it was good. But yeah, that's my coming out 16 years later to my dad. It was scary, but I did it. I'm glad I did it. If anything that 2020 has taught me is it's about moving forward in progressive ways and not looking back. And as much as I know a lot of us want to go back to this new sense of normal, whatever normal means, or what have you, or going back in time, we can't. There's been so much that has changed between March and now almost October that we can't go back. And we need to move forward, and we need to progress forward. It needs to be like progressive, positive, systemic change, not just, we're gonna slap something on a sheet of paper or a website and things are going to be fundamentally different. Like, we have to be better and do better for each other and for society. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening to my story. And another important thing is make sure that we all vote on November 3rd, whether it's in person or whether it's absentee. Please vote. We have to vote. We have to do it. We need some change. We need something different in our society, and being able to utilize our voice in that way is one of the many ways that we can do it. So make sure that you do it. Go out and vote, or submit your absentee ballots as soon as possible. And thank you all so much. And thanks for coming back to my channel today. I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe, staying sane. Have a fierce and fabulous day, week ahead. Love you all.